Okay, just a quick video on why the ketogenic diet is bullshit. This is just common sense. I'm not going to show you a single study that says this. I'm just trying to common sense you through this. So, process of energy production. So the first thing, this is not anything controversial. Our body primarily runs on adenosine triphosphate, which is ATP, made in the mitochondria of the cell, powerhouse of the cell, and that's what our body uses to do absolutely everything, every process. Once your ATP production is cut off, you can't function. So cellular respiration is the process of making ATP. You can see ATP is at the end here, but glucose is at the beginning. And you can see that in every diagram here. Glucose. This is photosynthesis. Glucose, 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 glucose. So you can see, it's part of the process that makes ATP. It's one of the ingredients that in water makes ATP through a number of complicated cycles. The idea of ketosis is that it's a backup system for your body when you run out of carbohydrates, because you can only store about 2,000 kilocalories of carbohydrates in your body at a time. So when you're in a situation where you can't get carbs for a period of time that you've burned 2,000 calories, your body can resort to a backup source and start burning fat and making ketones. Now, ketones are known in the science world for being something that it's a telltale sign of anorexia, or someone who's been stranded somewhere and hasn't been able to eat and they've been rescued or whatever. They have ketones in their body that tell that they're on a backup source. And it's exactly what it is. It's a backup energy source. So it's kind of like your generator. Now, theoretically, if you are keto adapted, meaning you've had less than 30 grams of carbs for 3 to 5 days or so, you start burning fat as your primary source of energy, which means that you could theoretically just burn fat forever and ever and ever and ever, until you run out of fat or have to sleep or whatever. Whereas a carb burner can only use the carbs that are in their system, and then since they're not fat adapted, their performance drops as soon as they run out of the carbs they have. So what this tells me is that the marathoners should be killing it in these big races if they're on a fat diet rather than a carb burning diet. But when you look at the list of people who have won the marathons in as far as the past 25 years, huge majority is Kenyan, and the rest basically is Ethiopian with a couple here and there exceptions, but they're African diets. So I just looked up the diet of Kenyan runners, and they are about 76% carbohydrates, 600 grams of carbs per day, and even 10 grams of carbs per kilogram of body weight. So they're really loading in the carbs. And only about 10% from protein, which is even a little high for more than an athlete would need. And 13.4% of daily calories from fat. And what's funny is that even about 20% of their calories come from plain sugar, refined sugar, which is so demonized in our country right now, where we have this huge fear of carbohydrates, and especially refined sugar. It's seen as basically the devil. And ugali is their other staple. It's a kind of polenta. It's flour cooked with water, corn flour. And this article talks about how sugar is bad. But my point is that you need to judge by results, not by theory, because this theory, it makes sense to me. I mean, I'm a very high carb eater, but I can look at this and tell you that in theory it makes sense, but the results tell another story. And I can tell you that every single person that I know eating a ketogenic diet has to load up on coffee and tea and energy drinks and cacao, all these stimulants trying to fuel them because they're not getting enough fuel from their own diets. And I don't know any single ketogenic cardio oriented person. I know a lot of ketogenic people who can do a lot of sit-ups and they do these little P90X video workouts, but I don't know any getting major results in either cardio or strength areas. So just kind of think about it like that, because the theory can sound all great and shiny, but the results are what matters. So thanks for watching.